Hello and welcome to Anxiety Module 3 with Matthew George. I'm a qualified professional hypnotherapy practitioner and full member of the Professional Hypnotherapy Practitioners Association. So this is Anxiety Module 3 and well done for getting this far. Anxiety Module 3 is much shorter than the other two modules. So Anxiety Module 1, just to recap, went through understanding anxiety. So what is it, why do I have it, what the symptoms are, and what's the purpose of anxiety. So we've been through that and covered that in a lot of detail in Module 1. In Module 2, we covered how to progress through the recovery stage. So that was looking at accepting the anxiety and accepting the fact that it's a temporary condition, and then observing the anxiety and really putting ourselves out there and taking part in activities again. So the Module 1 was accompanied by a really good hypnotherapy session that's available for download from our i-therapyltd.com website. And that was a really powerful hypnotherapy session to just bring your overall level of relaxation down. And we also spoke about Joseph Volpe, who in 1958 identified systematic desensitization. And that basically means that anybody who's suffering from anxiety or this constant state of tension, this high level of tension, being on high alert all the time, if you replace that with anxiety, then the tension and the anxiety cannot exist. So the two things cannot coexist. In Module 2, we spoke about, in Module 2 we also covered the practicing of it and the technique, so giving yourself a confidence boost, so giving yourself a tool to help you when you go out and start practicing and taking part in those activities that you've been avoiding for a long time. And that was called the anchor. So we created an anchor using the thumb and middle finger on your right hand to give you an instant boost of great feelings and positivity at times when you really could do with that boost. So that's what Anxiety Module 2 was all about. And now we're on to Anxiety Module 3. So this is again an equally, I was going to say the most important, but all of these modules are equally important, and this is an entire anxiety program, and it's designed to be a full recovery program. So Anxiety Module 3 covers the last part of basically freeing yourself, getting permission from yourself to live without anxiety. In Module 2 we covered, we learned about the left and the right side of the mind and how they work. And we've got a left logical conscious mind and we have a right creative subconscious mind. And what we were speaking about and learning about was that what you have to do is really tackle both sides. When you deal with anxiety, you really have to tackle it from the left logical side as well as the right subconscious side. And when you do that, you're tackling it from all directions and you're giving yourself the best possible chance of making a recovery in the shortest possible time. So we recommend that you spend at least a week on each of the modules. You only have to go through this learning process once, but then you go through the hypnotherapy session repeatedly for around a week. And the reason that's important is that anything that gets learned by the subconscious needs to be repeated for it to actually take effect. So in the same way that you learned to walk when you were a baby and you started to take your first steps, that was something that you needed to practice, and then once you've learned, the same like riding a bike, the same like driving a car, once you've got it, it's firmly embedded in your subconscious, and that's it. You'll remember how to do it. And the same applies when you're trying to teach your mind how to learn new ways of living without anxiety. The left logical mind can sometimes act as a little bit of a filter. So what we have to do is we have to get permission from our left logical mind, from our conscious mind, to make a complete recovery, so that the moving for the complete recovery, our anxiety-free lives are facilitated by being given permission. So that's what we're focusing on. We're asking the subconscious and the conscious mind for permission to be able to live an anxiety-free life. That's what we're doing in Module 3. There is another technique that we're going to use, which is again very, very powerful, and it's called the stop technique. So what we do in the therapy session, in the Anxiety Module 3 hypnotherapy session that's available for download, is we take our future self, that's us in the future, and we take ourselves now, where we are now. And what we do is we ask our subconscious mind to have a think about what it is that we're going to be in the future, and what do we look like, what are we doing, how did we get there, what journey did we take to go from our current self to our future anxiety-free self. And so what journey did we take? How do we feel when we get there? And then what we ask is, right, what happened along the way? What happened en route? So we're going from A to B, and what happened en route? And then we ask our subconscious mind to make that happen for us. So it's a really, really powerful way of programming our subconscious mind to say, that's where we need to be. You are the subconscious, you're infinitely creative, because logic doesn't necessarily always apply for the subconscious, which is why sometimes you'll have an idea in your mind, like, wouldn't it be good if we could just do X, Y, and Z? But actually, when you start looking at it logically, there are a whole host of reasons as to why you can't do that. In the way that you had thought initially, and that's because the subconscious doesn't have logic. So because it doesn't have logic, it doesn't have any barriers, and because it doesn't have any barriers, that's why the left and logical mind can be acts as a little bit of a filter. But of course, when we're asleep, so is the conscious mind asleep, and so there's a direct route into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is free to do what it wants at night because the conscious mind is asleep. It's like having a security guard that's absent from an empty building. And so without that being present, what you can actually do is be infinitely creative with your subconscious mind. So what we do is we ask the subconscious to just identify what journey did it take to go from A to B, and make that happen for you. The whole hypnotherapy session is a really powerful hypnotherapy session, and is packed full of suggestions that are going to put you onto a really good, comfortable life where you've got all of the tools and resources that you need to live that anxiety free. And we also ask permission as well from the subconscious to allow you to do that. So that's the therapy session. The last thing that I wanted to cover is, again, it's another tool. It's another tool that you can use to just help you. So as you go on your journey from being, if you imagine how you felt when we started Anxiety Module 1, that level of unpleasantness, that high alert, the jittery, all the rest of it, right through to how you feel now, it's like the lights at the end of the tunnel now. You can see that actually, I know what anxiety is. It's just those anxious feelings, anxious thoughts, and then the physical symptoms that come from both of those. And I'm dealing with them one by one, so I'm dealing with them in a desensitizing and systematic way. It's a proven way because we've known about that since 1958, but anxiety hasn't been widely publicised, and that's because of the social stigma that's attached to the physical symptoms. So we've got all of that firmly in our minds now, and what we need is just as many tools, as many things that we can know about, so that if we do need to use them, they're available to us. So this one is called Stop. And this technique involves every time you... So let's say now that you are much more actively involved in life, you're participating in all those activities that you have been avoiding for quite some time. You might not be fully there yet, you might not be participating in everything, but you're feeling much more comfortable about the prospect of getting there. And you've already started taking some smaller steps in doing some of the things that you enjoy doing that are a little bit outside of your comfort zone that you have been cocooned in for so long, since the anxiety started. So what we need to do is continue to build on that and build on that at a rate and a speed that is comfortable for you. If at any time you feel that there is, or you get a feeling or an anxious thought, so an anxious feeling or an anxious thought that just starts creeping into your mind, just say the word and say it. Have this image in your mind, if you like. You can use this image, perhaps make the letters different colours. So a blue S, a green T, the logo, the eye therapy logo is the O, a blue P and a blue exclamation mark. Just have that big, make it as big as that, make it as big as that, the word stop. And just imagine that word stop is, imagine there's a cinema screen on the back side of your forehead, so inside your mind, you close your eyes and you look up onto the reverse side of your forehead, and imagine there's this board there with that word stop in big, or you can have a neon sign if you want that flashes stop, or you can have an old red digital, sign that just continuously flashes through like the old train station type signs. Anything that you want, anything that works for you, as long as it is saying the word stop. And that's really, really powerful, because that immediately puts a stop to that unhelpful thought, that anxious feeling, that anxious emotion. But what you must do then is replace it with a more positive thought. So you could use the anchor, but I would encourage you to just distract yourself by, there's any number of things, any number of positive things that are happening. If it's teeming down with rain outside, your positive thought could be, thank goodness we're having a bit of rain, it's good for the garden, it's keeping our land fresh and helping the environment, etc. Or if it's a beautiful sunny day, then that's good for the garden. I might sunbathe later, I might go swimming later, anything like that. Just use whatever's around you at that particular time. If you're driving and the lights are on red, think, great, that's an opportunity for me to just retune the radio, or get a new song on that I wanted to do, or it's an opportunity for me to just readjust my seatbelt because that was a bit uncomfortable here. Or if the lights are on green, think, great, I haven't been inconvenienced by having to stop at the lights today. Whatever it is, just translate it into a positive thought. So you've been taking part in your activities, an anxious thought or an anxious feeling has started to come towards you. You've immediately put this sign up on the back of your head and you've made it big saying stop, and you've distracted yourself by replacing it with some more positive thoughts. And that's a technique that we use in hypnotherapy for stopping smoking as well. So anybody who is on a stop smoking program with us, with eye therapy, we use that same technique with them, and we get them to stop their thinking of cigarettes and replace it with a thought about the positive effect of not smoking. So I can breathe much better now, or I am proud to be a non-smoker. So it's a very, very powerful technique because it works very well with smokers. So if you want some proof that it works, you've got some there. That's the end of the entire the complete anxiety program, and I'm Matthew George. I really hope that you've enjoyed it, and I wish you the very, very best of luck in being anxiety free. You're now ready to download the last module, so that's Anxiety Module 3 from the website, which is i-therapy ltd. So it's i-therapyltd.com. And best of luck and thank you very much.